so that we can continue our head-cracking lifestyles. The only thing dumber than the helmet is the helmet law, the point of which is to protect a brain that is functioning so poorly, it's not even trying to stop the cracking of the head that it's in.
I thought that was cute.
Apparently that's not the case. The statistics show female soccer players suffer the most concussions at that age. Erica Walker takes a look at why that is and what's being done.
Like the girls of Edison United, with the thousands of young female soccer players who take the field, risk of injury, including concussion, is part of the game.
I try my best not to, but it's kind of bound to happen if one actually can't.
But now, a new alarming statistic could lead to long-term consequences. A new study by Northwestern University's Feinberg School of Medicine found that roughly 27% of all injuries suffered by girl soccer players are TBIs, traumatic brain injuries. Dr. Robert Glatter, emergency physician at Lexington Hospital, said these statistics are not unexpected.
I'm not surprised at all. I think women and girls in general have really been a group that's been under-recognized in terms of symptoms and concussion risk. I think it's only now that the research is starting to reveal how much they're at risk.
According to the study, this is the first research to report that concussions now account for a higher proportion of injuries in girls soccer than boys football. The overall rate of concussions suffered in the sport is on the rise and already significantly higher than in boys soccer.
Like, we are very aggressive, but we don't hit the ball close to boys, because all the time I watch boys, they're always hit. And I always think boys hit.
Part of this is related to the musculature, the development of the musculature, as well as the ability to withstand acceleration, deceleration, and rotational forces. And because of this, they're just not equipped to take the impact.
So while sticking true to the sport they love, these athletes try to keep that in mind when training.
Sometimes it's not worth it, because we know that we pass it efforts. If you hit it the wrong way, you should always call a coach. And if you feel like dizzy or anything, you should always talk to the coach.
It's also important to note concussions are on the rise across all sports. Researchers believe this is related.
So, if someone has, whether it's a fender bender that's 8 miles an hour or more, according to a Yale study, and then they feel, for a day, but then after a while they're like, oh, it went away, it's fine. But they didn't do anything to fix their brain after a acceleration, deceleration trauma. Or if they had that football trauma when they were 17, is that still residual, or did your body just fix itself perfectly? And the way I want you to think about it is the same way as muscles. If I have a sprained strain of my muscle, like say, I pull my bicep, when it heals, it normally doesn't heal exactly the same way that it was initially. There's something else called scar tissue, which oftentimes sets in there. And unless you break up scar tissue in that muscle, it's going to live there forever. If I have a house that collapses, can I build a brand new house on top of that? No, you've got to clear away the rubble and start rebuilding, as you're finding out in California right now. So the question is then, what do you do if you have neurological or mechanical disassociation called a subluxation? If you have misalignments or fixations of the spine's not going to do what? Move properly. If the mechanics are off, then garbage in, garbage out. If your entire reality is based upon the stimulus that your brain receives, but that stimulus is wrong, then your perception of reality is wrong. To give you an example of this, the #1 cause of death of people over the age of 65 is falls. Which means that the proprioception or mechanoreception of those joints aren't telling your brain where up, where down, where left, where right is. So I have a lot of my patients do this, and then do this. Take your eyes out of it. Can you stand on one foot with your eyes closed? And if you can't, then you have vestibular motor dysfunction. Your balance is off, it means your brain is off. You can retrain that. There are things that you can do. We'll talk to you about that. So this is another 2 minutes of video just about the neurophysiology of the brain.
The way the spine works, Denmark. A group of people who never had any chiropractic care before attended 2 sessions. One with real chiropractic care and one with sham chiropractic care. During both sessions, whole head brainwaves were recorded. The brainwave recordings, or electroencephalography, EEG for short, showed some very clear changes in the way the brain functions after the chiropractic session, and no changes happened after the sham session. The study showed a change in brain function of almost 20% on average after the chiropractic session. This study is really important because it's the 4th time this very same finding has been published in reputable research journals. This study's data is collected and analyzed by non-chiropractic scientists. This means there is no doubt that adjusting the spine changes the way your brain operates. Because the Danish scientists recorded the brain waves, EEG, over the whole head from 64 individual electrodes, they could also work out exactly where the changes or function were happening after the chiropractic session. They were able to show that the changes were most likely taking place in an area of the brain called the prefrontal cortex. This part of the brain is a little bit like the conductor of the brain, making all the other parts of your brain cooperate together in perfect harmony. The prefrontal cortex is the area of the brain where your executive functions take place. This means it's very important for our everyday behavior. It's the part of the brain needed for us to be able to carry out all goal-directed tasks: decision-making, memory and attention, intelligence, processing of pain and emotional responses to it, autonomic function, movement control, movements, and spatial awareness. Therefore, demonstrating that chiropractic care changes function of the prefrontal cortex could explain many previous research results that have been documented with chiropractic care, such as improvements in sensorimotor function relevant to falls prevention in the elderly, better joint position sense in both the upper limb and the lower limb, also improved muscle strength in several lower limb muscles, better pelvic floor muscle control, and better ability to carry out mental rotations of objects in space. Being able to accurately perceive where you are and where your arms and legs are is very, very important. You need to know where you are to be able to move without having accidents. And it's also very important to be able to accurately perceive the world around you. This is a vital skill we need all day, every day. To recognize some objects, you may need to mentally rotate them. For example, to recognize the letter P versus the letter B, if they're not upright, you need to mentally rotate them in your mind to figure out which letter it was. We all mentally rotate shapes and objects that we see, but we may not often think about that we do it, or how important it is for our daily life. Chiropractors have long observed a wide variety of changes in people under their care following adjustments. Along the wide spectrum.
All right, so I think I made my point that chiropractic care is a whole lot bigger than just how you feel, right? And so I have this new poster for anybody who's interested. I'm not going to go through it right now, but this is literally the neurological pathways by which your brain and your body are affected with each and every adjustment that you get. So for those of you who are like, oh, you know, why am I getting adjusted? My pain has been gone for so long. I have people who come in and they're like, yeah, I do it because I love to golf and I golf better when I play. Or I just know that I'm happier because I used to have depression. And so, like, how does that work? You know, most of you had thought, you know, like dyslexia and chiropractic before, you know, watching some of this research. But now you can see the science behind it. So I want to show you that. All right. So for those of you who are interested, you probably got talked to if you're a guest and you haven't had your nervous system checked. you have a stress survey in your packet, right, in your little thing there, and it basically asks you if you want to have your nervous system checked. We'll take a look at a functional movement analysis of your spine and see if your nervous system is getting enough stimulus. And so if you're interested in that, the offer is this. Normally it's $110 exam and x-rays, and we're doing it for just $40. It's not as good as the offer you had back there, but you snooze, you lose. And so if you're interested in that, that includes the exam, the x-rays, any orthoneurological tests, and the report of findings. So if you want to see how your nervous system is working, there's no obligation to start care, but you should know what your baseline is, what you're looking at. Because rather than waiting until it's too late, take care of yourselves now. And this offer is not just good for you. If you know somebody in the next week who wants to have their nervous system checked, bring them this information and we'll check them too. So here's some chronic pain. A lot of people are living in pain every day, and it causes shrinking of the brain. There's a lot of research on that. Altered brain neurochemistry, brain sensing processes, depression, insomnia, adrenal exhaustion, and increased addiction propensity. So if you're living in chronic pain, you might not even know that you're in chronic pain, because at that point, if you just get numb to it, if that makes sense. A lot of people who build up their pain tolerance, and they're just like, oh, it's the same pain. Like on a scale of 1 to 10, where are you? It used to be a 7, now it's a 3, but it's the same pain because they're just so used to their pain. If that makes sense. It's like being beaten over and over again. You kind of just like, oh, that's my life. So there are things you can do for chronic pain to take care of it, but what do most people do when they're in chronic pain? They take medications. And if there's something that's worse than chronic pain for your body, it's the #1 cause of death in South Florida are the prescription pain medications. You guys know that? Things like Vicodin and OxyContin and all the opiates are causing serious risk, which is why in a couple of weeks on the 25th, I'm doing a dinner here in town called Pill-Free and Pain-Free, How to Overcome Chronic Pain. But we're going to be talking about not only getting your brain stimulated more, but also what can you do as a crutch in the meantime that's not going to be addictive, that's not going to hurt your liver, your kidneys, your gastrointestinal system, that's not going to kill you at the time when you need to treat your pain. So for more information on that, I brought in Johnny and Meadow Meyer from my community pharmacy down the street. And so I'm going to invite them to come on up and talk about CBD oil and let you know the benefits of that as far as your brain. All right, so if everyone could please welcome them.